is 8 o'clock in the Central Time Zone, and Red Rover, here we come. Yeah, dare us over. We're coming anyway. It's Kelly Sutton, Charlie Mattos, Aaron Cooper, Jeff Robertson, Master Control at the Grand Ole Opry House, and I'm Billy Boy. What we're trying to figure out is what we're going to name Kelly's Chipmunk, who is taken with himself on her security camera, apparently sees himself and poses. He said so far, a friend of ours, Dan Strasser with Tennessee Farm Bureau, has come up with Harry Gatlin in honor of Larry Gatlin.
I really do like that.
Yeah.
I really do. He likes seeing himself.
The way you were describing his posing and that sort of thing, that's my man Larry.
He's got some swagger, this little chipmunk. Yeah, so stay tuned. I've got video for that. And then also Paul just texted, he goes, we have 6 deer in the backyard. And I said, I feel like Snow White, but none of them are cleaning my house. So if you could let the wildlife in and let them just start doing some household chores, that'd be great. Yeah. Okay, coming up, we've got not only the Chipmunk video that we want to tell you about, but Dierks Bentley jamming out on Tom Petty's guitar. This is really special. So cool. It's a part of the Petty tribute. So that's coming up in entertainment headlines, as well as more on Kenny Chesney's album. It came out on Friday. We'll talk more about that.
And we're going to rewind to the stage of the Grand Ole Opry with Low Cash and the Oak Ridge Boys. I mean, that's as much fun as you can have at the Opry with your clothes on, right? And you get those guys together at the same time.
I didn't know there was another option.
Just to make it very clear, the clothing is not an option. Like, it's not optional.
Hey,
you have to have it on to come inside.
It's the new Opry 2024, okay?
You know they got that VIP package.
This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Well, for those of you who are watching on our Circle streaming platforms, Circle Country, Circle Now, the app is available in your app store. CircleCountry.com has all the links and whatever works best for you to find us on our Circle streaming platforms around the country. And listening around the world, WSM Radio this morning. And then on the radio side, during a break from television and our streaming, we had Happiness to Be Anywhere with You with Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani. And I have just met Sarahbeth Taite for the first time. I had seen you on the show before, but I was out that day. But you exude this happy anywhere, that girl sort of thing. Has anybody ever told you that?
Thank you. Not like that, but I love it. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, and in watching you and your family and hearing the backstory, and now that you got a 17-month-old named Isla.
Yeah.
It's hard not to be happy, isn't it, Ma?
It is. It is. She makes it very easy to find the joy.
Well, that means she sleeps.
Okay. She usually sleeps.
Okay.
And we just hit this 1.5 year mark. I don't know what's going on, but we haven't slept in a week.
Oh, no.
I mean, it has been 1 or 2 a.m. every night for like 8 days straight. So we're back in the thick of it these days.
So when she goes down, does she stay down, though? It's just hard to get her to go down?
Well, she stays down till about 1 a.m.
That's it.
We're throwing the passy out of the crib. We're, just wants to hang with Mom.
Yeah, you know
at
what?
2 a.m.
Well, see, and those are peak songwriting hours. So maybe she thinks you're going to find your inspiration. Yeah. She's like, Mom, I think you really should be awake at this time.
She's like, I just thought we could chat, hang out, have some girl time. She doesn't want Dad at 2 a.m. Does not want Dad.
So, Mom, there's this guy. So, season 20 of American Idol, I think you came into our lives in living rooms from Fort Collins, Colorado. Give us, for people hearing and seeing you for the first time maybe this morning, a little backstory on growing
where
up
I grew up,
in Fort Collins and how your journey to Idol, because all these journeys are different for everybody we've had.
Yeah, my journey to Idol was long. I came to Nashville from Fort Collins, Colorado for the first time when I was 14 and signed my first publishing deal shortly after, which was a wild ride. But I just had a great childhood growing up in Colorado. I mean, best hometown ever. I'm biased, but best hometown, best family, and just really fell in love with country music at an early age and fell in love with classic country music. And I just knew that Nashville was where I wanted to be and knew that I needed to be here in order to have a career writing songs, and just kind of really dove in back when I was 14, 15 and moved here when I was 17 into an apartment on my own and didn't go to college. My poor parents, like, they were just, I'm putting it through the ringer.
Yeah.
Well, and it's
Colorado State's just down the road, hon. Come on.
Come on, it's right. But as a mom now, you have to be rethinking all of this, going, oh my word. If she comes to you when she's 17 and says, hey, I want to go be a songwriter, in Austin, and I'm going to move it by myself into an apartment, you'd be like, what? No.
Yeah, I truly, I mean, the letting go obviously starts early on, and I'm like, I don't know what I would do at that point, but my parents just did a wonderful job of letting me blossom, and they didn't, I mean, they crack up. They're like, well, we didn't just drop you off and leave you for,
But you know what? You must have been
here.
You must have been a bit of a prodigy in their eyes in that at 14 you made your first trip here. They saw something, encouraged something in you.
They have supported me from the beginning so much, but I will say I don't know that it ever, I never felt like in my family like I was like, I don't know, the shining star that, like, I mean, they always treated me and my brother just like, they were like, we love you all and we're going to support whatever you do. And they just, I could have picked anything and they would have been all in,
Are they musical at all?
They're not.
Okay.
They're not. So they didn't know anything about this industry. And
you know what? People in it don't know anything about
Well,
it.
that's a true story.
Which is what you learned when you signed your publishing deal.
exactly.
Very, very true.
I was like, I'm going to sign a publishing deal. They're like, what's a publishing deal? And I'm like, well, I know a little bit about it, and I know that I want one.
You're supposed to have one.
What did you learn from that, though? Because immediately when you're talking about 14 years old and signing a publishing deal, I think all of us are like, oh, Taylor Swift. Okay, yeah, that's exactly the same path to know exactly what you want and go after it. What did you learn from that first publishing deal that you were like, oh, I wish I would have known this sooner?
Yeah, oh my gosh, so much. Obviously, we know this industry is crazy and there's ups and downs. And I wish I knew then how long the journey was, like, to be in it for anything. Because I do, I was watching Taylor Swift at that time thinking, I'm like, oh, well, I could be, accepting CMAs by the time I'm 18. And I love the journey that was mine even more than that, but I wish I could go back and tell that 14-year-old girl, like, hey, it's not all going to happen when you think it's going to happen, but it's going to be even better.
Like Brad Paisley's letter to me.
Yes, exactly. So, and, the main thing I learned in that deal was how to co-write. I mean, I've been writing songs in my bedroom, but I had never been in this Nashville world of, hey, we're all going to show up every day and meet sometimes complete strangers and write a song and work together and piece it all together. So that really was where I fell in love with Nashville co-writing and just started making all these friends. And
did it take a while to get used to that, or did you just fall right into it, the co-writing?
I think then it was a little strange because everybody was new to me then, so it was like I didn't have any co-writers that I'd worked with for years. So at that point, it really was showing up every day, meeting someone brand new and spilling my heart out.
You're in a room full of only children. So I'm about to give you my take on this. Was there a point that, like, well, I really don't want to share this song. I really love it. I want to keep this one just for me to write it. Or was that not a big deal at all? Because my brain might go that way.
I think it was more just choosing. And I think I still do this, like really knowing my co-writers and going, hey, I feel like this idea or this verse and chorus would be really cool to bring in with that. I think I started kind of matching what rooms I felt like would perceive an idea better than others or differently than others. So it's there's definitely an art to that whole process and who you connect with and who you don't, and learning that it's okay if you don't hit it off with someone who has the name that you think you should be hitting it off with. I mean, it's such a wonderful world in Nashville of writing, and it was that I think was the most important thing I learned throughout my teen years being here. Then I obviously learned how to live on my own too. I was 17 and just kind of started working and really learning how to be on my own out here and away from my family. So
well, we're going to feature Pretty Good Living So an old boy from Kentucky comes into your life somewhere along the way in this story. How long ago was that?
He does.
What's his name?
He does. His name is Colby. And he entered, I was 18. I'd been here for about a year, and it was just perfect timing. I wasn't going to college, so I didn't really have this built-in group of friends and built-in community that was my age, and it was a real blessing. We hit it off from the very first time we met. We've been together ever since.
Was he in the industry?
Not at all. He was an accountant when I met him. He was working at a company called HCA.
Yeah.
And he and I met at church on Easter Sunday in 2016.
Well, you got an anniversary coming up this weekend.
Yeah. Well, Easter, it was actually, I guess when we met, it was March 27th, so this week. And then we got married 5 years later on March 5th. So March is a good month for us. But yeah, it was really... We did not know each other beforehand. We didn't have any mutual friends. I walked up to him at church and asked if anybody was sitting next to him. And we have been together for, I think 8 years now. I hope that's right.
Hey, for all you single guys out there, Easter Sunday is this weekend.
Save a seat.
All right.
Yes.
Put your hat down and then move it when she walks by.
If your church still has hymnals, put a hymnal there.
Yeah, that's perfect.
It is it's one task filming a music video. It's another task filming a music video with a toddler. Mm-hmm. So
how old was she when you did the video?
She few months over a year. I think we did it maybe January, February we filmed it. So she was, past that first birthday, they start getting wild.
Yeah, she was crawling. I saw the crawling behind the couch.
When she crawls away and looks back is my favorite part of that whole video. So cute. She was just living her life. Like, she had the most fun on that set, and we tried to keep her happy with snacks and really the Trolls soundtrack to that movie. Like, it's like we're filming a music video for my song, but we have to play other songs in the background to keep her interested.
Snacks work well for us too, by the way. So we're perfectly content. Yeah.
And Trolls.
You made mention off the air a little earlier that at 17 months she's already singing your song. She knows what's going on here. There's something special about mommy.
Yes, I realized the other day singing Pretty Good Living that if you pause all throughout the first verse and chorus, she literally knows all of the words to this song. Oh, wow. I posted a little snippet of it on my story. I got to put it somewhere permanent because it blew my mind. It's amazing. You don't realize how much they're listening and taking in and paying attention. So she's a little singer already.
Well, Isla making her debutante coming out here all over the world on Circle Country this morning at circlecountry.com. Circle Now, the app that's available in your app store and on demand for up to 24 hours. So if you loved it, you can see it again for up to 24 hours again at Circle Now. It's in your app store. So Sarahbeth Taite, accompanying you this morning is Rick Huckabee. Huck is in the house.
Huck, the man, is in the house.
He is the man. He is the big cat daddy of cool in Nashville, Tennessee, as far as I'm concerned. We have known each other since literally maybe the first week or two I was in town. We met. And
I'm so happy that I didn't even know this connection.
How about
this
that?
Just makes me so happy.
And it's been a while since you've been in the studio, Huck. I don't know why I hadn't invited you if I love you so much.
I love you back. It's been too long. I'm glad to be here. Keeping good company.
Because we first met, it was Tracy Lawrence was the connection.
I have Tracy to thank for that. My pal Tracy. That's right. Yeah, man.
So what's up with you these days? It's a quick catch up.
Been playing a bunch, staying busy, keeping good company. As I mentioned, so I can't complain.
It's like that. Sarahbeth Taite.
Thank you.
And that's for Colby and Isla this morning, the subject of that song.
Oh, yeah.
We've already talked about. You quickly learned because of a Kentucky song that you did. What's the official title of
Love the Kentucky.
Love the Kentucky, because you didn't understand being from Fort Collins, Colorado. When you fell in love with this guy from Lexington, there was this geographic attachment that came with it.
Yes.
Took you a while to learn it, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had many a conversation about Kentucky versus Nashville, and that's where that song came from. And fast forward to this weekend, I now have a very heartbroken Kentucky fan at my house, and I've come to learn, we don't enjoy watching Kentucky sports. We We are miserable watching Kentucky sports, and then we're relieved when there's a win. That's what it is. We're not happy when there's a win.
Long
we're relieved.
suffering. Long suffering.
You have nailed it.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
But their misery does love company, because there is some soothingness that Auburn has also lost early in the first round, right? So
I feel terrible saying that, but it did start to ease the pain a little bit in our house when we weren't the only ones.
Yeah.
Coffee, Country, and Cody on WSM.
We're working our way to 9 o'clock, 8:44, and Larry Wayne Gatlin, self-proclaimed the most talented and handsome of all the Gatlin brothers. Brother Steve and Rudy take exception. But,
I was going to say, I know Rudy is not happy about that.
But then he hogs the mic and they can't rebut. So that's the way it works. He's the oldest. Can you tell? And yes,
There is that.
he is the boss of them.
But Steve writes the checks.
That's
right?
what Steve said. They're all nice to me. Everybody's nice to Stevie because he writes the checks.
That's right.
Red Akins, Crystal Gale, Louise Mandrell, Sonny Sweeney, and, of course, Larry, Steve, and Rudy, the Gatlin brothers, your Thursday night Opry Country Classics lineup this week. Opry.com for tickets and information. And you were with Red Akins, speaking of the Songwriter Hall of Famer, at an event at your daughter's school over the weekend, right?
So we're really blessed. It's an incredible school, and there are so many songwriters whose kids go to that school. In fact, we jokingly call it Music Row West. Which is what the name of the school is. But they do a fundraiser every year, and the fundraiser is a songwriters event. And we just so happen to have Red Akins and Ashley Gorley and Luke Laird and Chris Tomlin and Stephen Curtis Chapman's kids.
Tranny
went
Anderson,
there.
you said?
Tranny doesn't have kids there, but she was so great. Tranny Anderson has written some huge hits with Lainey Wilson. That's where you would know her, Heart Like a Truck, and then the new one, Wildflowers, Wild Horses. But Tranny said, I don't have kids yet, but I heard it's really hard to get into the schools, and this is my way of putting my name on the wait list. She said it's good to get in good graces, but she's not even pregnant. She's like, but I want to go ahead and reserve a spot.
But you really love her as a vocalist as well as a songwriter,
gosh.
you said.
Wow.
You're really impressed.
Honestly, I loved meeting her, loved talking to her, but her vocals, she is something else. And I know Lainey feels the same. So it was an incredible event. Here's the funny thing with Rhett, speaking of Rhett being on Opry Country Classics. So Rhett, and he says it from the stage, so I know he won't mind me joking about it. He said, I am a CPA parent and a CPA grandparent. His grandkids and kids all go to school there at the same time, and they're very close in age.
And he's got a little one, so he could be a CPA parent around again.
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. He's a grandparent. His grandkids go there, and his son goes there, and they're in the same class.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah.
He said, I am a walking Jeff Foxworthy joke.
So
You might be a redneck if.
he needs to recut. Was it Homer and Jethro or Alonzo and Oscar who did I'm My Own Grandpa?
That'd be close. Yeah, okay. It's not there yet, but it's pretty funny. He's the one that joked about it, so I know it's okay to tell it.
Yes, of course.
But yeah, it's TR's kids and his son are the same age. So there you go. Okay, let's talk about Dierks Bentley. This is really cool. Dierks is, of course, the lead single off of this Tom Petty tribute album that we're going to be getting. They don't have a release date on it yet. It said it's still forthcoming, so it's got to be soon, right? But Dierks is doing American Girl. That's the lead track from this all-star tribute album, Petty Country, a country music celebration of Tom Petty. So not only did he get to do, like, an incredible song from Tom Petty's collection, he got to play Tom Petty's guitar. And you said May 31st is when they're going to release
May 31st.
Okay.
Dolly, Willie, and Lucas Nelson together. Chris Stapleton, Luke Combs. It's an incredible lineup of people. So,
it's going to be amazing. And I really hope one night we would get to do that at the Opry and just do like the Petty tribute and have everybody come. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
Just a Petty night at the Opry. I'd love it. Okay, Kenny Chesney's album is out. It's been born, and its name is Born, and it came out on Friday. But Kenny has a lot of things that have been happening. Of course, he's doing media talking about not only the album, but the upcoming tour. There you go, a little Born from Kenny Chesney. He's going to kick off his Sun Goes Down tour April 20th in Tampa, Florida. He has Zach Brown Band, Megan Maroney, and Uncle Cracker out on the road with him. So
that's the summer anthem right there. And that hook.
It's a
It's all it
party.
took to go, yeah.
Yeah.
You'll be hearing that from now until the end of summer.
And-
He'll be right, and he'll be singing it for the rest of his career.
Of course. And the stadiums.
Maybe as his closer.
Man, the stadiums are going to just be completely packed. It's so much fun. If you've never seen Kenny Chesney live, put it on the list. I will say that. I've had the good fortune of seeing him probably 5 times live in stadium settings, and it is as much about the atmosphere that you're in with so many people, the No Shoes Nation, as it is about Kenny. Kenny's phenomenal, but the entire experience is really cool.
And he's obviously a superstar, but you forget just how many songs you know.
Oh,
I mean, it's like
absolutely.
It's like, oh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Oh, of course that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Rick Huckabee and I were just talking with Sarahbeth Taite about he and Tracy Lawrence, with whom we worked for so long out on the road. They just got together recently and wrote some songs, and he said he's out with Riley Green.
Yes.
And he said he just goes out there and kills him with 45 minutes worth of hits and says, good night.
Riley, I remember I did an interview with Riley, and he said, I want Tracy Lawrence to open my show. I want Tracy on tour with me because he is a huge Tracy Lawrence fan.
Yeah, and you know every word, every one of those songs, like Charlie referenced with Kenny Chesney.
Now available, new episodes of My Opry Debut, including Robert Finley.
Had that dream that one day I wanted to stand on that stage, and so now here I am 50-something years later. That lets you know that dreams do come true, and I always say you're never too young to dream, and it's never too old for your dream to come true, so hold on to your dream.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his Grand Ole Opry debut, Robert Finley.
Thank you.
Big Cat Daddy of the Blues, one of my favorite in-studio guests we've ever had. Kelly Sutton, Charlie Mattos, was Robert Finley, and his daughter came with him, who tours with him, travels with him, and sings. But watch My Opry Debut, whether it's Robert Finley or Angela Johnson Reyes, Kid G, Artemis Pyle, Devin Gilfillian. All of them are up on the Opry's YouTube channel. Again, My Opry Debut, that one. We just featured a little clip from Robert Finley. Coming up, speaking of the Opry, Brantley Gilbert from the Opry over the weekend. And we have in Scotty Inman. You got a big Scotty Inman hug. He's a big boy, so he gives big hugs.
I love it.
You got one as soon as he walked in the door a little bit ago.
I'm a big hugger. I love hugging everybody. I had a really good friend that said, if it moves, I hug it. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's true.
Well, his new album during Holy Week, of course, Passover in the Jewish community, but My God is available wherever you buy, download, stream your favorite music, wherever you get it. It's there. Features people like Jason Crabb, whom we'll hear from in a little bit, the Isaacs, and Charlotte Ritchie, who was with Jeff and Sherry Easter forever. You know her from the Gaither shows and most famously of late as a background vocalist on a Grand Ole Opry.
That's exactly
Standing right next to Marty Slayton on any given night singing.
That's exactly right. Well, we've got a lot of
Or Micah
entertainment-
Roberts, perhaps.
Oh, Micah's there too, yeah.
Yep.
We've got a lot of entertainment headlines to get to. We can tell you more about Miranda Lambert and her donation to Mutt Nation. Also, we're going to give you some inside scoop on Jordan Davis and Need to Breathe Together, where you can catch it. And the video you've been waiting to see. My chipmunk friend that has popped up on our security camera no less than 6 times. He really likes himself. You can help me name him. Coming up.
So far, our favorite is Harry Gatlin.
Coffee, country, and Cody.
So Passover yesterday and Palm Sunday, and we work our way into Monday of Holy Week and Easter Sunday on the way. Good Friday. Some of you will attend Good Friday services in addition to services on Easter Sunday. And in studio, perfect timing with his new album, My God, Scotty Inman just pulled up a chair. Welcome.
I cannot believe I'm here.
What do you mean?
This is amazing. This is a big deal, y'all.
All you had to do was knock on the window. We would have let you in a long time ago.
I've done that before, and y'all call security.
Oh, that's funny.
I remember Harold Hensley, Radio Hall of Famer. I had just come to WSM. This was 30 years ago this coming April, just a couple of months away. And I came to the window. I couldn't wait to meet Harold. So I was standing outside. I just rolled in here from South Texas and had my starched Wranglers and my pearl snaps and my cowboy hat, and I pecked on the window. And Harold looked up from over where Charlie's sitting this morning and he went, "Hey!" Wait. He went back to work.
Yeah.
So like 3 times I knocked, and I was trying to get his attention, and finally he kind of leaned in, and I said, "Bill Cody, the new guy." And he went, "Oh!" go. So I went to the door. He went to the door. He lets me in because we've got a security door. And he goes, I thought you were some new artist. Want me to play your song?
Exactly. I'm sure there's been plenty.
So give us your history in gospel music. You were born to it, right?
I was born to it. My dad has sang my entire life. Been a part of like gospel music, quartets, like
the Triumphant Quartet, most famously.
Right.
Yeah.
And I sang with that group with my dad for 21 years. And all of a sudden, God, as he does, put it in my heart to move on. At first, I was like, it's hard to jump off of a fast-moving train, especially when it's going up and great.
And your dad's Clayton.
Right, Clayton, correct. Yes, and but man, God just kept dealing with me. And so I jumped off into the unknown of solo, and I've always enjoyed country or style music with faith-based lyrics, and kind of where we are now in life, how we're going to get through this crazy world lyrics. And man, God's been good. He's just opened up all kinds of doors, like being here at WSM Radio and getting to share my music.
What did your daddy think about that?
He is so proud of me. I actually texted him last night. I said, how you doing? He said, I'm doing good. We text a lot, call a lot. And he said, I just want to let you know I'm proud of you. He said, every parent wants their kid to better themselves or do better than even they did. And I can see that with my little boy. I have an 8-year-old son that plays basketball, and I'm like, I was never that good at 8 years old. And I'm like, go, like NBA, go. So I can see where you just want your children just to be.
Well, it's also, as a child, it's great to have your dad say that to you.
Oh,
how rewarding is that?
Exactly.
That he's proud of you.
His opinion is pretty important to me, and he's all 100%.
And my guess is, like a lot of dads, he probably doesn't pass those compliments out just as a part of you got to work for, you got to earn it, and you did.
Yeah, he probably. I think he was harder years ago, but the older he gets, the softer he's getting.
It's because he's got a grandson now.
Yeah, he's crying a little more than he used to. He'll be watching a commercial. I look over, and he's quivering. I'm like, wow, Dad.
Did you find yourself like many of us, who the first 2 or 3 times God tries to get you to go in a direction, you kind of ignore him?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
This is a 2-year process.
Okay.
No. I mean, I was like, okay, jump off something that is known, and I know what I'm going to make. I know all this stuff.
Yeah, security, if nothing else.
Yes.
Well, and it's family on top of that,
Yes, and it's like, what are you doing, man? You're jumping off of the, arguably one of the top groups of all time in that genre. I think most people would say, and you're just going to do what now? You're going to...
Well, Vince Gill famously tells that story about turning down Mark Knopfler in Dire Straits.
Yes.
Because he really believed that he had what it took, and he would never, ever be satisfied if he didn't stay and give that solo thing a shot first.
That's what it boiled down to. Obviously, it was God's calling, but also it was, I never want to look back and go, man, what if?
Regret.
Yeah. I'll do that eventually with something, but I didn't want to do it with this. So,
Talk to us about your music. What are you feeling right now, and what are you writing for yourself? How is it different from what you were doing with the Triumphant Quartet?
Well, it's a lot more personable because I can write it where I'm at versus trying to write for each guy in the group. Like, where are you at? Like, what are you thinking? I know what I'm thinking. I'm also a worship leader in a church.
Where?
In Morgantown, Kentucky.
Okay.
And so I lead worship, and I get to see, what lyrics, can pull on a person, songs of redemption, same ones that pull on me, songs of redemption, songs of hope. And so a lot of the music that I'm writing is basically where would we be without God's grace? I mean, we're all one step away from disaster, but for the grace of God, so that's kind of I'm not here to preach or go, let me tell you, buddy, here's what you got to do. I'm going, hey, there's nothing different between me and you, but for the grace of God. It's just every day we wake up and we go, okay, God, I'm dying to myself today. Tell me what you got,
Where'd you grow up? In Morgantown?
No, my wife's from Morgantown.
So Mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy, so we moved back to Morgantown.
I follow Mama.
What county is that?
Butler.
Butler County, yeah.
We have the famous basketball team that just went to state in our little town. But anyway, I grew up in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. I'm a Dollywood.
Get out. Nobody grows up in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
I went to the same high school as Dolly. So it's Dolly, and then,
Is that Sevier County? Or Sevierville?
Sevierville, in Sevier County.
Okay.
So
So it's Sevierville High School?
Sevier County High School
Oh,
in
okay.
Sevierville, Tennessee. Yeah.
What's your mascot?
The Smoky Bears.
I thought it was going to be Dolly.
I was going to say it should be Dolly.
It should be. The Sevier County Dollies.
Did you ever perform at Dollywood? I mean, there are all these opportunities for performers.
I have with the group.
Okay.
My dad started singing with the quartet at Dollywood, the Kingdom Airs. So that's the whole deal. That's how we got to Pigeon Forge.
Oh, I would have seen them for sure at Opryland back in the day. We
Probably
loved
so.
that part of the shows.
Probably Louise Mandrell, and her theater was all the rage too.
That's who we started with. Was Louise started triumphant. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, I sang in Ashland City, Tennessee the other night. Louise was going to come, but she couldn't come. She's gonna get mad at me. She chipped her tooth, so she couldn't. But she said, hey, after the concert, just come to the house and eat and just stay here. So I was able to go over there, and I hadn't seen her in probably 3 or 4 years, and so I was able to go there and have a midnight snack at Aunt Louise's house.
What does Aunt Louise provide us for nourishment?
Listen, so I get there at 10:30 at night. Walk in. She has fettuccine Alfredo sitting on the table, cheesecake, and she said, "Now listen, I didn't fix it. This is Costco, but it's yours." So she had a spread. She's awesome.
And you ate that and then went to bed?
I did.
Good for you. That's some good dreams.
Yeah.
Fettuccine dreams.
They were nightmares.
All right, so a new album, My God, that you wanted to play. The first thing we feature, A Man on the Middle Cross. Original song, I'm assuming?
Original song. Wrote it with a guy Jason Crabb. And he actually, I hoaxed him into singing with me on it. I said, man, why don't you sing a little bit with me on this? So,
boy, that Crab family, every one of them are so
they're
gifted.
All right. They're amazing.
He's a little too introverted, though. If you could get him to come out of it, especially on stage, out of his shell a little bit.
Yeah. He's amazing.
Yeah.
He's amazing, and was honored that he wanted to write.
And then our Opry friend, who we see often, Charlotte Ritchie.
Ritchie, yeah. So I have like the greatest background vocals of all time.
Yeah.
So Charlotte, Jeff and Sherry Easter.
Right. And the Gaither Homecoming bunch.
Right. Yeah. And then, she's doing background vocals at the Opry.
Oh, yeah. She's,
right now.
It's amazing. I
love seeing her.
Again, I pinch myself and go, how in the world did I get around these people?
This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Well, welcome in. Scotty Inman is a couple. Introduce your guitarist this morning, whom we were just talking
I have an incredible guitar player that makes me sound like I know how to play guitar. His name is Gabe Allen, and he has played for many artists. One John Barry, and he's just an amazing guy. And he plays for me on the road a lot, and just happy to have him here.
Well, I was just looking at your church in Morgantown, Kentucky, where you're the worship leader a little earlier. Charlie, if you're interested,
yes,
they'd be happy to have you.
Okay.
You have to fill out a visitor card.
Okay.
Do you all do the stand and greet and shake hands with your neighbor? Because Charlie doesn't like that.
At the very beginning, we do.
So you could hide in the back.
Yeah,
before.
I've timed my entrance into just after that part of it.
And that explains a lot, because during the first song, half the congregation comes in. So I'm thinking that's what they're waiting on too.
They're waiting on it.
It's the Catholic in me. I was, you're just very quiet. You're very.
But you'll find Christ Covenant at 113 East G.L. Smith Street in Morgantown, Kentucky.
All right, there we go.
We're a church plant, 3 years old. So.
Oh,
is that right? Okay.
So you've been there from the start?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool to watch it grow.
That's been amazing.
Yeah.
Y'all split off from the big church.
We got in a fight, and no. A pastor friend
it's
of
only
ours.
funny because it's sometimes true.
Oh, hey, you're talking to a preacher's kid.
It happened at my church.
A pastor friend of ours came to me and my wife and said, "Hey, I want to start a church, and would love for you guys to lead the music." And so we prayed about it, and the rest is history.
That's amazing.
That really is. And I immediately, George Strait's dad, John Strait, came to my mind. The first time I ever met him, I was in Devine, Texas. We were out on the doing a series of radio shows for the Santa Rosa Children's Hospital in San Antonio, which is a part of the Children's Miracle Network, the telethon, annual telethon. We would do these broadcasts and fundraisers in different towns across South Texas. And we're at the steakhouse in Devine, and this gentleman walks in, and he said, "Where's Bill Cody?" And I said, I'm Bill. He came and said, "My name's John Strait." Well, I knew immediately, though we'd never met, that George's dad's name was John. And he said, "You're a preacher's boy. I'm here with the Gideon's Bible group tonight. We're having our meeting. Won't you come in here and meet these folks?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The next thing I know, I'm in a little conference room area that's set aside for those sort of thing, party area, and addressing the Gideon's Bible group
Absolutely.
on behalf of John Strait, George's dad.
I love it.
So that really struck a chord with me, as it does for a lot of people who have in your church. Gideons usually once a year they'll have a speaker come and talk about the work they do.
Gideons are amazing, and what's so special about that song, I think, is, you know, the Bible is, you know, people will go to therapists, they'll go to all kinds of places, but the Bible has all the answers of what to do in situations, and hope, and and faith. And, you know, I think of those people who they have had a bad night. They have done some things. They're a wreck. They don't know how they don't know if they're going to wake up. And they stumble into one of those motels just to sleep it off, and they open the drawer and they see a book. They don't know what it is because they've never heard about God, or maybe they have. And they open it up, and I believe God leads them to the page. And I believe every day lives are changed by that motel Bible.
Well, it's a powerful song.
Were you on the road when that idea came to you?
Well, I'm about to really lay the hammer here. I didn't write it,
That's okay.
but I had to sing it. Normally, I sing all the songs I write.
And who wrote that?
Jimmy Erie.
Oh, well, you picked a good one there.
Sonia Isaac's husband.
Yeah. I was in the studio recording my album, and my producer, Josh Swift, who plays for the Isaacs Dobro,
Oh, yeah.
said, man, there's a song. I know you write your music, but there's a song, and I just think you got to do it. And I was like, well, let me hear it. And so he played it, and so we added it to the record, and honestly, I don't know what we'd do without it. It's just, I don't care if I write it or not. If it's Motel Bible, I want to sing it.
Yeah.
So,
It's Scotty Inman this morning. My God is the album. What's the best place to follow you and get your music?
Facebook, Scotty Inman. Instagram, Scotty Inman. ScottyInman.com. And my music's on all the streaming platforms, and my schedule's on there as well. Would love to see you somewhere in person soon.
Yeah. And before we wrap up, I'll run a few of your upcoming tour dates, but I'd love for you to sing one more. We have time. Thank you so much for coming to see us. Happy Easter to you and your family.
Thank you. Happy Easter to you all as well.
Celebrating Easter on the Monday of Holy Week here with Scotty Inman. Motel Bible. Boy, that is still resonating with me. Wow. And he gave us the coolest little promotional item. It's a motel key.
The little, that you would say from the motel.
A little something.
That's pretty cool.
Charlie Mattos, go ahead and point out what you pointed out off air.
Bill and I are the only ones old enough to actually remember having such a thing.
Only because it's true. That's why you say these things. That's it. Well, Saturday night, Circle Country. You tune in, Circle Country, and all the streaming platforms that are available. You just pull them up, and you can link to them there. So Opry Live, Kentucky Legend will be bringing you Opry Live, the #1 boneless ham, boneless turkey in the country, and ham for Easter. How about it? And if it's going to be ham, it better be Kentucky Legend. And so goes if you choose turkey or both. Make a Kentucky Legend ham a part of your Easter celebration this Sunday. KentuckyLegend.com. All these wonderful recipe ideas for sides, soups, salads, and especially glazes. There's is it pineapple bacon? Is that the one that's up on the, I hadn't pulled it up.
I thought it was pineapple brown sugar.
Maybe that's it.
Oh, that sounds
I would
good
do
too.
either.
But I'd throw the bacon in there. Can't hurt.
For sure.
I mean, you know.
You're
Pork on pork.
you're already doing
It's
ham.
in the same family, right?
I mean, really.
The lady from Hanover, Indiana has it. It's pineapple and brown sugar glazed
so.
ham.
Yeah.
But if you go to the top and click recipes at KentuckyLegend.com and then click glazes, you'll be amazed at all the different varieties: hot honey garlic glazed ham, red pepper jelly, spiced apple cider. These are all glazes that you can make for your Kentucky Legend ham. Instant pot honey mustard ham.
You said spiced apple cider? I thought you said spiked apple cider.
Spiked.
Well, that's what gives it the spice.
Well, there's
That's
that
right,
great French phrase at times like these. Tout is on.
That's right.
Yes.
Well, je ne sais quoi.
And you are the ambassador to be, you know. So
2025?
Yeah, I mean,
ambassador-elect, I hope, is what
it'd
I'm
be
going
strong.
with. It'd be strong.
They have a whiskey glaze. They have a red wine and cherry glaze. They have a peach and Riesling glaze. All these. And that's a short list that you can find. Again, KentuckyLegend.com.
You know what I was just thinking is cheer wine. You said red wine and cherry, and I'm like, I wonder if you could do cheer wine as a glaze.
Sure, you could.
Remember cheer wine?
Oh, yeah, it's still
Yeah.
around. I still see it from time
I
to
thought
time.
so.
it's a soda, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
Have you ever done that?
Charlie's not interested.
Because there's so
I gave up the soft stuff.
Sorry.
because there's so much sugar and a lot of those, like a Coca-Cola glaze on things. It's really, really good if you do it right. Yeah. So I don't know. All right, throwing it out there.
Cheerwine sugar content. Continue, please.
You work on that.
You know,
I'm
one
scared
Coke
to
is
know.
like 142% of your daily amount of sugar in one Coke.
That's why I don't drink it anymore.
42 grams of sugar
Oh, dear heavens.
in your cheerwine.
Yeah.
No, we'll pass.
Yeah.
Okay, Miranda Lambert writing a big old fat check, and I love it so much. It was to her charity, Mutt Nation. She's wrapping up the Velvet Rodeo residency, which has been happening, of course, in Las Vegas. And when she started it, she said, I will donate $1 from every ticket sold to Mutt Nation. So she delivered on her promise in a very big way. The check was $140,000.
Wow.
Would you look at that?
At $1, well, that's a lot of people that have come to see her.
A lot of people have come
even
to
I
see
could do
her.
that simple math.
That's a lot of people. Yeah. So she took $1 from every ticket sold and donated it to the Dog Friendly Foundation. She started this in 2009 with her mom, Bev Lambert. Mm-hmm. The nonprofit is dedicated to promoting pet adoption, advancing spay and neuter across pet owners, and sharing resources to help people be responsible pet parents.
Opry Charlie, famously from Mutt Nation. Mm-hmm. Our mascot over at the Opry House that resides with our Grand Poobah, Dan Rogers.
That's right.
The senior vice president.
Senior Grand Poobah. I'm sorry.
Congratulations.
Senior Grand Poobah.
Been in all the papers.
Yeah.
You take the paper?
Yeah.
What was in there?
It was in the paper, and I got the email, and then I got an e-blast, and then I got somebody texting me. I was like, look at Dan Rogers making all
he has a
the
publicist. We got
headlines.
that. Jesse, good morning.
Congratulations. By the way, if you want to see Velvet Rodeo, Miranda Lambert out in Vegas, you only have a couple more weeks. She wraps up on April the 6th. Okay, Tim McGraw. Tim McGraw looks good on stage in just about anything. We all agree on that. But he looked even better repping number 22 in Iowa. Look at this jersey. How cool is this? He said, when in Iowa, you got to represent. Of course, this is representing Miss Clark, who is Caitlin Clark, who is now the NCAA Division I title holder.
All-time leading scorer.
I said, to me, I would get a belt. I would want a crown. Yeah. I would want all the accoutrements.
Like Jerry the King Lawler back in the day. I want a robe, a belt, a crown. I would like all of it. Yes.
All-time leading scorer. She beat Pete Maravich's record. Pistol Pete. So first she won the women's division, then she won all-time for both men and women in NCAA, and it has been confirmed she's going into the draft.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
She had another year left that she could play at Iowa, but she was like, I'm good. Anyway, Tim walking out on stage in her jersey, the crowd went wild for him in Iowa.
I could see it in your eyes and hear it in your voice when you were looking at that, and the way you said Tim McGraw, and your voice kind of got sexy, kind of Bond girl thing going on there.
He looks good. Yeah. He lifts tires for a living. He works out 3 times a day. So I talked to Russell Dickerson about this, and legitimately, and Tim even told me this when we did a podcast together. He said, I work out 3 times a day. I work out in the morning, which is kind of a light workout, and then in the afternoon it gets a little bit heavier, and then I'll do another workout later. So Russell was trying to keep up with him when they were out on tour together, and Russell was like, he's got me flipping tires, and this was the second workout of the day for him. And he said, and I'm panting like a dog over there in the corner. So
you know who had it down back in the day. Now, he is no longer adhering to this regimen. But Jack Ingram used to, he would let them take him and drop him off whatever number of miles he wanted to put in that day.
Right.
Away from the venue with just enough time to get back, get a shower, change clothes, and hit the stage.
Oh, wow.
So he was the whole mental thing of no pain, no gain was, I've got to get back because I have a show to do.
Motivation, yeah.
I'm not sure now they wake him up after sound check and
he's like,
just take him directly to the venue. I don't think
if you watch Texas Music Scene. No, I don't think Jack is running to the venue anymore.
Okay, so here's the video that we've been talking about. We have to get to this. This is the video we've been teasing all morning long.
This is for you, Scotty Inman, who was just guesting with us.
I have a chipmunk in my backyard.
So cute.
Isn't he precious? He has discovered our security camera. He likes staring at himself in the security camera. He also likes all the little acorns that are around there. I don't know what his name should be. He popped up at least 6 different times. He just keeps, look, he's like, oh, look at me from this angle. Look how cute I look from this angle. I like this angle. I want to show you my chin. He is absolutely adorable. So now taking submissions to name this chipmunk, the front runner right now, Harry Gallon.
Yes. I like Flickertail.
Oh,
because
did you see him?
In some parts of the country, and I think it's North Dakota, they're like a state rodent or animal or something, and they call them flickertails.
Oh,
because
really?
they are very proud, much like squirrels here, very proud of that tail.
Yes.
Yeah, and they call them flickertails.
Well, I'll keep you updated on the adventures that are happening in the